Welcome back. We are getting a phenomenal game right now between SK Gaming and CLG. Now, bearing in mind, by all opinions, this was SK's game, but CLG have put us to 3 maps here. First map, it was Mirage, and it was actually a pretty good showing from CLG. All the things went right, everything worked out well for them, but then SK Gaming showed us the class that we expect from a 2-time world champion.
Yes, definitely. And now they're on the 3rd map. They're on one of the maps that historically have been perfect for SK. They are coming out of this with a win on the last map. CLG have had to reset themselves mentally going into this one, and I just hope that CLG can bring that heavy strat book that IMAPED has always been talking about. He's talking about how deep they go, how many demos they watch. And there are plenty of demos available of SK Gaming on Cobblestone, let's just put it like that.
Yeah.
And I'm expecting something from them because they need all the guns to come out now, and they need the top class performance in order to take SK down, because if they don't bring their 100% A game, SK Gaming are going to demolish them and take this into the finals.
Yeah, no, SK Gaming are no joking matter on this one. Cobblestone, although it hasn't been played that much as of late for them at LANs, you know, all of that sort of jazz, it's because most people ban it against them. They're damn good at it. Gambit did have a close game with them. Immortals did beat them, I guess. You know, there are weaknesses here, but I feel as though SK Gaming during those games earlier, they were missing a lot of their key factors individually. It wasn't the tactical approach or anything like that wasn't the issue necessarily. Just the individuals weren't quite there to have that final punch to it. So, yes, there are issues, but historically, this is a great situation for SK Gaming. CLG, you've got to have something ready for this. You don't walk into this one unawares of what you're about to be dealing with. Anyway, we'll be CLG on the T side and SK Gaming on the CT side. This game is going to be incredible. It's the semi-finals, bearing in mind. Whoever wins this map gets a place into the finals.
Let's see here, 1 smoke for Fallen on that CT side of things. And once again, we see this 4-1 split that is very common on Cobblestone, where one player goes aggressive towards long and the rest is stacked towards B, and this is why Fallen coming up huge with 2 frags to start us off.
Incredible play from Fallen. That's going to cut down this hit at the knees. The bomb's in the worst place possible, and Taco is going to make the most of this. Everyone else from CLG has to just walk into this if they want to get that bomb back and a shot at this round. Phelps there, spotting it out as well. Does get caught by a finesse in the end, but still, 2v3 in this situation, it's not going to go nicely. And Ricky, you do have a deagle.
Yes.
I'm not going to put that past you, but you have to hit some dirty shots.
And this is a very ballsy move in a pistol round, and something that he's been doing consistently, at least throughout this tournament, and also going past that, is buying this deagle in these pistol rounds, and something that you can make work, but when you're in a 1v3 and SK Gaming can just hold you, it's very hard to make it work.
Well, he's got a tag. There's 2 who are likely tagged. Fallen, I guess, is like the final raid boss, right? You're playing these 1 angles where you can't get faced with too many. As soon as you have to play out into it, you know you're going to get double faced and it's kind of over. But a nice attempt, but a good shutdown. It was Fallen, the main man there, just catching them as they tried to make it through window, maybe looking towards a split, maybe trying to get some nice pressure, play to the Glocks. But it was the second shot that more impressed me, just on the way out, and that's the bomb then dropped.
Yeah, and this is where it gets really interesting, because SK starting on the T side, we saw them against Singularity. I'll take the game that they played against Immortals out of the equation. Of course, it still counts, but in this kind of like to build the storyline, they're very, very good on the T side usually here on Cobblestone. So if they have a great CT side, if they just win it 8-7 or 9-6, it's going to be really, really hard to be in CLG's shoes coming into that second half, because they are god tier on this Cobblestone T side. Let's see if they can make it happen now. They can get the CT side rolling as well. I don't think there's going to be any breaks on an SK Gaming train then.
Absolutely not. I mean, business, it's SK. They shouldn't be pressured in this the way they were. You look at Train, that's the scoreline you expect to see. That's the performance you want from these guys. They've had a rocky start, though. They've not had the best results recently. You know, you put it into terms of this tournament, they lost to what you'd argue the little brother, in a way, Immortals. They've had issues aplenty. But still, you feel that when it gets to the semi-finals, when it gets to the finals, they should start working out. But no, Ricky going to find Fallen. That opens up an opportunity. You have a nice bit of a drop play coming out from Ethan as well. He's going to cause a little bit of problem. Maybe hinder the rotate a second. No. Actually, Fur is going to 180 around with that UMP. Retains some bullets, but eventually gets overwhelmed. But a good position from Coldzera will make sure that round doesn't go too far.
Nice turnaround, but I felt like with the Tech 9's close range, they should have punished that more and be able to at least get that 1 frag. But then again, that 1 frag wouldn't have changed the round. It was just, they would have done a tiny bit bit of economical damage, but once again, it's these small errors. If you collect all these small errors and just put them in once every single round, it just builds up, and that's a problem. Because CLG, they have to be perfect in this game, and anything short of perfect is going to be an SK Gaming win, in my opinion.
Yeah, but do a nice bit of early work. Nade comes in. Not actually getting that tagged up by it, but this round shouldn't go anywhere. It is an eco. It's about as eco as you're going to get these days. Cutler going to claim Fallen, get himself a UMP, but he's not going to be able to get away with this anyway. If he gets any more money built up, that'd be awesome, but the aim punch is pretty real, and even the cameraman's like, nah, it's over.
Oh, well.
It's rough when the cameraman knows.
Cameraman with the disrespect.
Yeah, exactly. BM, DreamHack, BM. I'm kidding. It's fine. It's fine. But no, good stuff for a start for SK Gaming. It's more the fact that they're going through the motions. They've got a little bit of a cheeky purchase here. They still got the UMPs, which actually are just as good at this point. You can play one into drop, you can play one in middle. They still have real viable options on Cobblestone, I feel. You start becoming a bit of a bank as well for your team. This, however, looks like a bit of an A split if they commit down towards drop. They haven't done that yet, CLG. It's a bit of a slower build, but we do have the AWP up. They've got some utility. Not many mollies, though, which is an issue. You can't play too late just purely because of this. And I like this little smoke from Ethan. Where's the plan on that?
That's a good question.
Did he mean to do this?
It's either to just block off because he's very afraid to come pushing, but I think it has to be a mistake.
Yeah.
Maybe he underhand threw it when he wanted to throw a normal throw, I'm not sure.
Yeah, and I think Fallen's heard these steps on as well.
Definitely, and now he's just waiting in this perfect angle where Fallen usually never misses in this shot here. We saw him miss twice against Singularity, and I was like, this isn't happening.
But he's actually backed off for a bit, so maybe that, you know, a couple of issues against Singularities made him a little bit more passive. And if you start losing out on things mentally, you start falling back a little bit, and you just kind of play it a little bit differently. And you can see there was actually a run boost as well created by CLG. Not much one, but just a little bit of a boost over, probably to allow Kus to have a little bit of a different angle. But they're so hyper aware that Fallen will probably be here. And it's a good choice. He's going to peek into it now, and Fallen is just better. Kusta goes down. They're now missing one, and the quick hit gets dismantled instantly.
And the Anders Molotov straight into the smoke. Always good.
Not the dream.
But here we go. Still lined up in that middle. But so many CT players on this bomb right here. They're actually stacked 3 right now on A, and if Fallen just are taking shots like this, it's hard to figure out what CLG should do to get this side, because Taco for close range, you get one frag when you instantly refrag, and that's the beauty of Escape. That's something that's very, very good at, and then always excel at, especially against good teams, that they constantly refrag. If they lose one member, another member instantly steps in, takes that map control back, and takes the frag back.
Nah, it gets scary when Fallen starts playing well to me. It always does. This guy is not only an in-game leader, he's incredibly smart, incredibly talented. It does just terrify you what he can achieve. So if he starts going, and Kusta gets shut down, you remove one of the big factors that create opportunities for CLG. So that's going to be a battle ongoing throughout this, and it looks like a fast hit towards A. CLG just trying to pick up the pace. They only have Tech 9s, 2 bits of armor purchased, and that's it. So really, anything's a bonus here. They could overwhelm by just walking up long, because they're going to be conditioned to think Fallen's going to be watching from maybe stables. He's not. He's playing APC, and they're actually going quite far here. This is getting a little bit worrying. If those pistols get to decent range, you start to feel pressure, but no, he's got great support systems here. Fur, Coldzera, it's all worked out well. Ethan did get through a drop, but only for a second.
Okay. Usually, CT side a bit more favored for CLG here on this map, but with what we know about SKT side, I still need them to at least grab 7 rounds here on this side. And right now they're behind 0-5, of course. We know everything can change in the CS game. Momentum is very important. But they need to show us some kind of hope here. And hopefully that's going to be this round with a double up setup. Ricky and Kusta. Maybe they are the ones to bring it back.
We're going to find out. Double AWP v double AWP.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, thus far, SK Gaming do not look shattered. They don't look moved. They look so in control. Fallen again. New adjustment. This 4-1. I love playing 4-1. It's something that I absolutely love. But if you're the solo A player, you know it goes off a lot of feeling, a lot of intuition. When you feel that pressure, because he hasn't watched long in ages, right? They could have, in theory, slow walked up here the whole time. But it's all about feeling out the game and how the opponents like to play. And, well, at the moment, Cutler's going to give away a little bit of the game, but you can see the timing on it. Because you make noise with that flash on long, it's going to be FNS to push through a little early to ensure that they actually can get the kill if Fallen's trying to be cheeky about it. But he's already backed away. He's going to readjust towards middle. The bomb's yet to commit either. So for SK Gaming, they're just sitting back. They've retained great utility too. Plenty of smokes up, mollies, flashes. They're in still a very good spot.
Yeah, I like playing the in-game leader in this one alone position towards A, because in that position you want someone who constantly knows when to rotate and when to feel the game and have that game sense. And Fallen, in my opinion, is probably one of the cleverest players in the game and one of the ones that has the best feel for it and knows how to rotate just on the back of his own intuition. But right now, stack it up towards B for CLG.
Yeah, Phelps, this angle is cheeky as you like. You're probably not going to get more than one, but the one you get is pretty darn good. And it just alerts everyone else, and here it comes. The flash comes out, no move. You can see the play coming out from FNS as well. He's working up middle now. There's still forms to get past there, so keep an eye on that fight. But Phelps springs into action. He doesn't get more than one, but Color actually comes into this. So does Ricky. Great hit thus far. Cobblestone tries to stop him, but he can't. But time, it's going to be such a big factor, and this bomb goes down, and Fallen's locked out. He can't get back into this one at all. FNS has been holding middle, and that was a very late in the round hit, but very well played out by CLG.
And once again, this is some of the things that I noted on the first map that worked really well for CLG, is playing that on T side, that 4-1, where you're stacking 4 players towards one bomb side, but still having one player just constantly being a nuisance on the other bomb side, making sure that Fallen can rotate, just to the fact that then FNS is going to have the flank angle on him, and he actually forces him just to stay in this bomb side. He has the information that Fallen is around here somewhere. He's not exactly sure where he is, so he's just trying to check angles and make sure that, well, if he can, then punish that AWP and make it not able to save.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm impressed that CLG made it through there, because that was very, very good. Everything for SK was great there. They had well, not full utility, but great utility left to handle that. The smokes were up, they had mollies, they had 4 players in the right place, and yet CLG still broke through. So again, it worked out quite well for them. And Ethan's having a very poor game as well. I've just noticed that. He's not having quite the matchup yet for himself. Hopefully he can warm into this one, but yeah, he's having a little bit of a slow beginning. But someone who's not having a slow start is Fallen again. Right off to work, gets the ult right back out to long. Never a moment's rest. And you can see Ricky holding very passively. He's waiting to see if actually anyone goes for an information play, have a little look. But Taco's going to show a little bit of presence. Put himself up towards plateau.
And that's another thing I like about Fallen. He's a very talented AWP, but he's not going to take angles that are below 50% chance. He knows what he's up against. And he's just staying back. I'm saying, yeah, I'm going to hold this so you can't take map control, but I'm not going to challenge you because I am Fallen. I'm a genius at CS. But this opens up the area here for FNS. And that's, as we talked about, Fallen, his intuition is on point.
There's no audio cues to that sort of play. You just feel the timing. You feel when the pressure moment comes in. It's absolutely beautiful.
And that's why you need Fallen in that position, because I think he's one of the best in the world to play that exact spot. And the way you need to know the game. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Now this time there's only 3 players towards B, one still towards connector, I guess, but the others are starting to push out. So they've got a read on CLG, they know roughly where they are. They've given up drop control, they didn't really fight for it, SK, they've just let that one go, and that's fine. You can play outside it by rock and then by the window. Taco's got to be a little careful, and again, Phelps is helping out by looking towards plat. They've got this all covered. But CLG did win a round like this before, so again, I don't want to kind of put this completely outside of the realm of possibility. It's just incredibly tough to do, and they've limited amounts to do it with. Here come the flashes, and here comes the hit. 2 players going to make it through, and Taco already cuts 1 down. And yeah, this is great holding ability from SK. No steps come through from those guys on CLG. This is the SK that just won't move.
Yeah, and one thing that worked out last time when CLG tried to take that B bomb side was they were in good positions to refrag constantly. For example, Phelps, or who was in that corner position, I think it was Phelps, he got the first frag, then instantly was traded out because they had that refrag position. And on long plateau as well, they had the exact same thing. This time around, they got shut down by both angles and no chance to refrag. And that just breaks the entire push. Right now, Felico just goes for a nutty push and gets Cutler. And now, once again, Phelps going for aggressive play. These are just pistols, so he should be able to shut this one down easily. And it should be 7-1 here for SK Gaming.
Yeah, nice confidence builder. And I'm kind of curious, we haven't had many tactical times out yet. I'm hoping that maybe CLG start looking towards it. You're getting to that point of not necessarily no return, but you want to start getting rounds on the board or having close rounds. Only having 1 round beside you, not good enough. Not right now. SK Gaming just exuding confidence. Coldzera shuts down that round. Now, we'll see what they go for here. I'm wondering if there it is. The pause comes in. I'm liking it. Ethan's called that one out. No worries. It's time to discuss this because it starts to spiral at this point. You haven't had an answer recently. You haven't exactly had an idea of how to approach this. Your double up on T-side didn't work. You know, the B hits, one of them worked, but it's very hard to dig these guys out of the situation.
Right. CLG having to put their minds to work. Oh, technically right now there is, because this is the time for I am a pet the coach, as you see on your screens right now, feeding the information that he has gathered over these first couple of rounds into the players' ears and giving the players the tools that they need to create the hold to take this one back and create the strategies and the executes to take this one back from SK. Of course, it's always great to have someone in that position. That's one of the things I love about the evolution of CSGO, that we have the coaches now, and every single team has this kind of coach figure, or at least every single top team, and you can just see what difference it makes.
Find out how much of a difference it makes to CLG in this round, though. Again, and the thing is that the hard part is that if SK do something a little different, just to throw them off, it gets very frustrating for CLG, because they might have had the perfect idea of how to outdo something that was a consistent factor. And speaking of consistency, it's Fallen, always delivering. Vanessa just destroyed again, and they're going to run out of players soon if they keep this up.
It doesn't matter how good a strat you have. If Fallen is on point like that, there's nothing you can do. And that's, again, something with CS. Like, you can have the perfect read and the perfect strategy, but if one player just pops off individually, there's not much you can do to counter him.
Taco going down, like, I think it was Ethan who got that kill, it was. It could at least alleviate some of the pressure, might take it away a bit, but Fallen, let's see how good his timing is here again. There is one player on towards long, and then there is Ricky working his way up through danger, so I wonder if he's going to be able to get these guys isolated. Spots an arm. That's a bit of a bait here, and now here we go. Fallen finally gets taken down. It's Ricky finding a way back through this. He could even get himself an AWP. Not a bad touch for him, but Fur right there straight away. Ricky is in trouble, and yes, he is. Fur is not going to let this one go at all. Phelps finding Ethan, and we're down to a 3v2 here. And SK clinging onto this, but no, the bomb's broken through by B. And here we go. It's going to be Kusta surely to get the bomb down. Cutler's one out. That's big, and now it's all about timing. Oh, God, though. Kusta's going down low. He's only got 40 HP. He needs to stay alive here at this point. Wait for support. He's taking fights. He does want coldzera to have it all. Oh, no. coldzera's taking him down. But look at this HP. Is it enough time out of everyone? Can Cutler do this? Or is coldzera doing that godly work we know he can again?
The beast. Can he make it happen? Time's ticking down.
A fake coldzera, he's working in towards it. He's not looked the right way, but he adjusts better. 12
bullets.
HP still, 4 bullets in timing. It's only a couple of seconds left. Cutler's messed this up. Oh, God, coldzera's an animal. That's the play you dream of as well. It doesn't matter at the end, but that is brilliant. Cutler just got outplayed from start to finish.
coldzera can win a clutch without even getting the last kill. That's how good he is. Absolutely insane. Once again, coldzera saving the skin of SK, but so far, well, they're up 8-1, so he's not really saving their skin, he's just adding on to the great play coming out of the Brazilians in this one. CLG looking demoralized and demolished. Coming back in one round and then being shut down straight after. Completely reset. Money's not looking good, and Fallen once again in mid, on point, even while he's flashing.
Just try and touch this guy right now. He's absolutely on fire. coldzera there as well to support. You got Fur falling back around. You got 3 players watching this one push-up. It's unlikely CLG are going to get anywhere in this. It might just be the meat grinder. But hey, Cutler and Ricky going to find a couple of frags. But that's the follow-up. All right, maybe there's a little something left. But the HP's dwindled, and there it goes. It doesn't really matter for SK now. They've got money for days. They've got scores for days as well. So many rounds sitting by their pocket. It's starting to look pretty dreary for CLG.
Yeah, it's hard to make the argument of CLG coming back into this game now, because it's just on all fronts they're losing this game.
Yep.
Individually, as a team, strategically, even timing-wise. One of the things that I praised them for on Mirage was their timings, and it's looking just like a few seconds off here every single time. They got into the bomb side this last round, but that's the only round where I really seen them really brute force the timing in towards the side when it's actually worked. But then again, coldzera just shot them down, did so much damage. FNS now coming in with the pistol now, picks up the M4, has the armor as well, and the smoke. And this could be the round. But still, SK Gaming, which is so good at holding this back.
I just don't think they're going to
flash
drop the
timing.
ball. Yeah, perfect timing on the flash. Good follow-up with the pick. And Fallen's feeling it. Look at this guy. He's going for this one. There's still a player on the right side, though. But, hey, why not? I think it's a little too far. Yeah, he's going to die and cost them maybe a round here, but he's confident. He wants to go for this sort of stuff. And Tarko's still there towards Ethan, who's having an absolute mare of a game. It's not gone well for him. And coldzera being the pretty much mobile turret towards the site leaves Cutler with it all to do. A 1v2 situation. Bomb down in the lair of SK Gaming in towards Connector. And Cutler's got so many angles to worry about.
CT down there, rotating away, and Taco through the wall. Through the door, I should say. Just takes him out, puts him out of his misery, and that's just another number on that scoreboard for SK Gaming. Now it says 10 to 1.
I find counting quite hard, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's counting. I'm pretty good at it.
Nice.
Hashtag cast the math. Of
I
course.
never do it. Never try and count on it. It just terrifies me. Alrighty though, 10 to 1. It's starting to get into the beatdown territory basically, where SK is getting borderline bullying at this point. CLG just, you look flat in comparison to what we saw on the earlier maps. They don't look in control. They don't look like they can handle what these orbs are bringing as soon as they came out. And here we are. Flash comes in. Taco's blind. The timing's good on the shot, but they didn't peek into it. So again, they forced him off the angle, but will they expect both orbs to be here? I don't know. I think it's the first time we've seen it as well.
Fallen, close range. Taco, and that double up setup on the A side. And I actually really like this with Fallen. I know he has a lot of confidence and everything, but at this point I like him rotating back to hold a more defensive position because he can do so much more damage by this tree here, and he can even rotate to the door if he feels pressured, if he can get something done there, if he can get the first frag, then get the flash down, he can rotate. On the other side, Taco's at stables. They have one player who can rotate in as well, but that, you cannot account for that from Ethan.
Considering he's not a player having a great game, that's great from him to suddenly start actually fragging a bit here. 2 kills is going to create opportunities towards A. Bombs cross can be planted. 2 players going to stay towards middle as well. They're basically already setting up that crossfire. One's going to probably watch the back for a flank, which actually is going to come through here. Kusta's even going to make it off the site as well, which is even a great benefit. Play that AWP at a decent range for that bomb. But the retake could still be possible. We saw what Fallen was doing earlier, going for those crazy plays towards middle, just like running into it. But generally the better thing here is to back away. I don't see this one working out unless Fer gets a really quick kill and then just goes off.
As we talked about earlier, Ethan, he needs to step it up to his usual level, which is very high. It's one of the things that CLG needs in order to win this. And Kusta also grabbing this one. Still far away from the grand finals right now.
Feels like a million miles away, doesn't it?
Yes.
You're sitting at these scorelines, even though you're just as likely to close out the rest and then do the same back to SK Gaming. It feels like you've got that mountain to climb in front of you. And
that is beautiful, though. Yeah,
this stuff from Ethan was great, actually. The first shot on towards Fallen basically opened up that opportunity. Without that, I don't see it working out.
Taking a duel against an AWP of Fallen's class is also pretty scary, but he makes it work. Ethan, let's see if he can do it even more. Of course, SK Gaming still with decent money, weapons saved. Of course, buying up again, everyone has what they need.
I'm hoping this is a fast play towards middle. That double stack on long might just be forgone here. This could be a problem. Now, you do have Coldzera quick on the rotate, which is great for them. But if he gets swept aside quickly, this is where, you get those win conditions really opening up. That means that this round looks good for them. But here we go. Let's see if they play this one off. Already Fer going to find FNS. That's kind of worrying. Fallen as well. Does get mollied out, but flashes into it and actually goes for the fight. And Coldzera is just such a great position here. He's not going to go down without causing trouble, slowing down the T side, making an issue of it by just staying alive purely. And now they have every angle containing a threat. There's no safe area. Look at it. Kusta can't take a safe shot in case they walk through that smoke or try and pressure. Now he's got 3 players to find. And Molly's just come in. He makes it to stables. And I think, yeah, they did see him cross. But can he adjust for this? Can he find a route, an avenue, anything?
And the player at long has now rotated into mid, and he's about to peek him. Just seconds away from seeing Kusta there. And Kusta, he's looking for that one player who was long before, and he just cannot find him. Actually, Fer is coming down to join him for just holding the angle. Because now they know that stables is clear. They know exactly where he is. They have the bomb. Not a lot of time left. This is one of the hardest positions to be in as a CS player. And Kusta, despite being a phenomenal player, is not going to clutch out that 1v3.
The thing is with SK as well, they don't allow you that free first kill.
Exactly.
You've got to work so hard to even just be able to get a chance to unravel that 1v3. If the CG side makes mistakes and maybe shows a little too much, a player's not in a tradable position or they go looking for it, then sure, Kusta could probably work with that, but he got given nothing in that round. Holding a really deep angle like that, it means he has to push out almost completely and show himself to so many angles that could contain players. It's so tough for him to work around. But 11-2, SK Gaming are truly showing the class that they contain here. We kind of hadn't necessarily seen them at their full strength to this, throughout this tournament yet. I feel like we're starting to see a little bit of a glimpse of it here.
Right now, money-wise, not looking too good for CLG either. Cutler on the Tech 9. And for this execute. Only 2 smokes or 3 smokes available. No mollies to force out, for example, a chicken coop position as we have 1 player in right now. Usually you would want to have that. Use the smokes to get out to plateau and then molly out bomb side or rock or even the chicken coop, but that's not going to be available for them right now. They only have the smokes and the flashbangs. And Taco's probably going to rain fire from above.
Yeah, I'm looking at Taco here. Let's see what you can do. You're in prime position for this. Good flash timing. It will force him off the angle. So might be watching this one. Bit of a spam comes through. They've made full contact towards Speedway and won it out, but he's really holding those cards close to his chest. And it's time to show us what you've got. Taco does find Ricky, and now Fur with the boost towards the tree has the perfect angle, jumps in, gets Kusta, and it's effortless on 1 HP. You're an impossible, surely. No, he does get 1 now. 1v1.
Taco with the AWP still.
And he's got to know where he is. Taco, you blink, you missed it, but he does not blink. He will not let this one slip. He keeps control and 12-2. SK Gaming on the verge of a phenomenal half here. Something that you can only imagine sometimes going to finals. When you're working through the semi-finals, you're just hoping we get that really good game. And there's a reason a lot of teams ban Cobble against these guys.
Exactly.
It's terrifying watching them.
And it's so nice to watch SK Gaming having a hard game on the first one, and then in the second having a great first half, in the third one having a great first half as well. It seems like they're so good of playing the long game in a best of 3, and a lot of teams will crumble if they lose that first map. SK Gaming are not that team, and that is why they are back-to-back major winners. That is why they're one of the best teams in the world.
Oh, and Fur could destroy it all. He could tear this apart limb by limb. On the prowl, on the hunt, hungry like the wolf. He's made the call, he heard the steps. Fallen is there. He doesn't land the shot, though. Has to back away. Takes a fair bit of damage, too. Fur's going to find FNS, and now he looks for the next place to strike. It's Fallen, it's Fur, and it's all going SK's way. This half has been so damn dominant. What more can you do? Ricky and Cutler, you're left just surrounded, stranded, confused and dazed, and not in a great position. Fur, he does it again at mag 7. Oof.
Wow, they're smart, they're loyal, and they're from Brazil, and they're making it work right now. 13 rounds on that CT side, and we know how good they are on T side. SK Gaming is now on cruise control, and that cruise control is pretty damn deadly.
And a very underwhelming half for CLG here, but for SK Gaming, it's a look back at what we expect from these titans of CS. Individual power, brilliant performance from Fallen, certain factors that just simply weren't there previous. I love this round between Fur and Fallen here, loved it. The 2 extremes, extremely close and extremely far, the AWP and the mag 7. Not known for complementing each other, but that round it certainly did. But on the half, SK Gaming, you know, this is the performance you look at. This is the guys that I expected to see on the other maps.
And exactly as you said, like complementing each other seems to be, in my mind, one of the keywords here for SK, because every single time you just see them working together so well. We talked about CLG and their fluidity on that first map. This is SK Gaming showing that they can do the exact same, and why they are such a good lineup. They know each other so well. Everything is, well, structured. Everyone knows exactly what they're doing and what their role is in the team, and it's just so beautiful to see.
100%. Credit to SK for it looks like they never doubt themselves. They get put in these situations, it's alright, we've got 2 more maps, best of 3. So best of 1, sure, there could have been problems there. But I doubt that the veto would have gone the way it would if that was the case. But still, 13-2. The finals are merely rounds away for the SK guys. For CLG, it's a mountain to climb, and I don't think it looks too likely. But prove me wrong, I dare you. SK Gaming, though, on the T side, we know they are monsters. They are nightmare material on this side, and Ethan already going to be cowering beneath his bed at this point, but good play thus far, spotting out 2, and Control fighting his demons as we speak. No bullets left in the clip, goes for the reload, but Kusta is there, and this is good stuff, a good start, and exactly what CLG require.
Yeah, 3 kills coming in from Ethan, a player that needs to step up in order to climb this mountain, as you speak of. And he's doing it right now in the pistol, and that's the best start you can hope for. Let's see what the buy is going to be like for SK. Usually a pistol force up, so probably expecting that as well. And that's a position where you always have to take SK into account, because even though they have pistols, they're still incredibly dangerous. So if CLG just makes one tiny mistake, one tiny gap in the smoke somewhere, or just a tiny shot missed, then SK are going to capitalize on that, and they might take the round. But let's just wait and see. FNS in the corner with the UMP, and Nate or Ethan on the side.
Smokes come in, SK are there. FNS good control so far. Time on the reload, Ethan comes in. Phelps, the only one to really strike back for SK so far. Bomb is loose. But Phelps does get himself a gun. So maybe can cause a couple more issues here. No,
right.
Ethan, perfectly fine. And I'm not going to get excited for the comeback until I see double digits again. As much as, you know, these rounds might be great for CLG, SK Gaming is still set on 13.
Oh,
You're knocking on the door of the finals. You're waiting for the next opponent.
Definitely. But nonetheless, like, they know what they're dealing with here. They know that they have to play like very patiently and expect SK to come out flying and hit some shots. And they are playing defensive angles, and I like that. They're respecting SK, but they're not respecting them too much. So CLG, tiny sliver of hope, and as you said, it's very tiny at the moment. And there we go, just taken out by pistol.
What? That's not great, Kusta. Come on. I was on the Kusta hype train before. Yeah. I was believing this guy's the next big thing.
You just
don't let it slip. It's just pistols, you know, they're OP. But there you go. Taco's found. Any more damage is actually really good, though. If they get some rifles away, it's not bad at all. CLG really can't suffer through having a bad economy. That's the thing for them. They actually can't handle it. If they are unable to buy up properly, they're kind of screwed. So they need to keep these rounds clean. They need to keep the comeback building for themselves and in a good manner, right? It can't be that lackluster, you know, we'll have a couple of UMPs here and there. We'll just do what we can. I don't mind one UMP up. I don't like two. I'm kind of hoping they invest around something more. Yeah, okay, so they keep one. Hopefully you have... No, they fully buy up. Perfect. All right, I was keeping eyes on that. I was watching it like, please, just buy up fully. You can't mess around with this. You can't mess up. I know the money situation is on a knife's edge for you, but still, you drop around, they're on 14.
Exactly.
That's the bigger issue.
You cannot afford to drop anything right now, CLG, and they do exactly as they should. Buy up fully. Get a little on Fallen, opting to go for utility instead of an AK, and that's a choice I usually like, especially if you have four AKs, and now we go. Smoke's being tossed over, but they're not going for the push just yet.
No, they're teasing. Just teasing.
Just the tip.
Speaking of, Ricky's going to have a glimpse. There it is. Found. Glimpse. Is all you need. And luckily for CLG, they didn't overcommit, they didn't over-rotate. They've kind of held their nerve here, considering that SK really showed a lot, but then didn't work off it. But they do have drop control, so that's one step in the right direction. They still have two mollies on SK as well, so whoever's sitting in towards that cubby could be in trouble here. And yeah, FNS needs to be careful, but there comes that second molly. He's going to be forced out of this position soon, and he does make it away scot-free, and Ricky's control drop. Ethan's there as well. Great play coming out from CLG to control this. A very unique approach to pace from SK, but still threats aplenty when Cold Zero stands with Fallen next to him.
Very nice setup. Cold Zero coming in here, taking out Kusta, and this... Is this happening?
It's
yeah,
Cutler.
exactly.
Does Cutler mess this up, or does he land the shot? Fallen, I think, might be even considering watching this as well. That's the next big problem, is who predicts what. Cutler can control this. He can leave his players to focus towards B. Care drop, care plat. Otherwise, they can't go anywhere else. Flash comes in. FNS, good timing on the turn. Steps away from him, lose out on the angle, and now Fallen's given him a chance, but the chance gets ripped away. That's the timing on the back play. Not overstepping their marker, not going too early on it. CLG control it. Yeah. But SK Gaming, you can see the bait on that, right? You can see, like, all right, let's put down the smokes. Let's back away. Switching up that pace so often.
I like the flanking Cutler in that round. That was perfect. And also his patience waiting out for that one. Just holding the angle, not pushing too much, because he knows that Fallen is there, and Fallen is a dangerous player. So it's not until that the players are spotting that he's facing and he's battling towards plateau that he pushes out and grabs the secure kill. And that's what they need right now. Secure kills and secure rounds. CLG. SK Gaming forced into the pistol. Kusta on the AWP. This should be like shooting fish in a barrel for them.
Should be. Okay. Having a good old deagle time. And are they reading into this a little too much? Cutler's really whiffed that shot there. He does adjust eventually, but they're really reading into that deagle. Actually, they're not wrong to be doing so. The bomb did come over, but again, it's a weird round from CLG. You can tell they're tense the way they're playing it. Yeah. It's kind of the extreme reaction so far, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. You want to be very much on your game, but be careful. Don't overread into SK here. These guys, they'll throw you through a loop.
Yeah.
Now,
over rotations.
Yeah, exactly.
Terrible.
Now Kusta's going to be able to swing around to this. Got to be careful, someone's close to the door, and Kusta can't control it, and now Cutler didn't hold the angle, he didn't hold the information, and now SK are right amongst them. Fallen's got himself an AWP as well. Things get a little bit worrying, but no, Finesse has a little bit of a breath of relief. It's called Zara. Looking for weaknesses, looking for opportunities. He might have just found one, he has. Finesse goes through. Okay, and now he's on the other side of the door, and the other two players are on the other side. coldzera's made room, and this is an error, and this is a great play as well from coldzera. 1v1. Cutler up against Cold. And now Cold has the bomb. He has every opportunity to do this. Plant comes in. Cutler cannot stop that. But now it's all about timing. He plays to Rock. coldzera falls to Plat. And now we wait. Cutler, good timing. Didn't overthink things. Kept it simple. Played right back into it. But that got way too close. That got way too close. Not like coldzera is in a 1v3 with a C-set 75 against 3 players with fully bought weapons. And he's allowed to do that. Luckily, it doesn't win it in the end for CLG. They can keep this train going, but this is a dangerous zone. It just shows that even when SK are on a round that's not really expected of them to win, like these individual qualities and these stars can just pick this up. coldzera almost getting it done. And 7-13 or 7-13 is the scoreline. Numbers are hard right now. They are tricky. SK Gaming though still with a firm advantage here. No rush yet. Not feeling too threatened just yet. You're still okay. CLG Gaming don't have the perfect economy built either. Let's bear in mind their money is still a little bit ropey. But Kusta now on towards the AWP, peeking towards Plateau. Nice flashes come through. There's the return. Could see that deep smoke as well coming out. Molly first. Checks the corner. No one there. Slowly mentally working his way through the platform and how much he can play to this. Another flash. Plays into it this time. Forces out the shot as well. But you can see the back and forth game here. It's all for a centimetre of a peak. That's all that's for. All that money exerted, everything given. If one of those two AWPers had the full advantage, they could have done so much with it. Once again, the 4-1 split for SK Gaming on the T side, placing 4 players towards the B bomb side and 1 player playing that flank, making sure that the CTs kind of push out. The problem is, if this is an A split risk, there's no one really controlling connector. Both the players on long are pushed up as well on towards A. If they work this out, SK Gaming, that's worrying. And also, the player in mid, he can easily go through mid and up and hold that angle, maybe even smoke off the 2 players at long. But let's just see what they want to do, SK Gaming. They have a lot of opportunities here, but also that they've taken drop control. They're moving out towards Plateau. They have a lot of map control right now, SK. Yeah, Ethan flashed up as well. That allows Kus to be picked up quite comfortably by Fallen, showing us what he's made of. And now Ethan can't play out with any safety. There's too many angles. 2 to the right, 1 to the left. And here we go. SK Gaming strangle holding CLG down. And Cutler, ooh, that's a moment. 2 kills, but that's not enough. Ricky, nowhere to be found. He was playing on A. He wasn't expected to be there. And finally, SK Gaming apply enough pressure to really start cracking down CLG's CT side. You can kind of feel how close it is, with Ver being on 24 and Taco being on 25 HP. Fallen, of course, with the AWP door holding a bit back, only taking the long-range doors. Hasn't really lost anything just yet, but a few different sprays. Cutler, if he'd gotten that 3rd one there, you could see how the round could have worked out differently, but that's not the case. SK Gaming are on 14 rounds. They're 2 rounds away from the grand finals. You know, DreamHack ASTRO Open, DreamHack Summer 2013, and Ricky is just hoping to save his weapon. And when you look at the money, you can kind of understand why. Yeah, money's tight. So much they end up with. They can fashion a buy, but this is a problem. As I said, they can never. They don't have rounds to suffer through. When you get on 14, you're right next to it, right? You're so damn close. You have to have at least 2 players, I think, on limited weaponry. Yeah, there we go. If you want to have either you want to have utility or you want to have like a FAMAS, and FNS goes for utility and the Max 7 play, and Cutler goes for the 1 smoke, then the FAMAS. Rest of the team on decent buy. Ricky, of course, saving, has the most. For SK Gaming, they know that they've kept the money pretty humble from the CLG boys, so for them, you just got to be careful for that early aggression. See if anyone's going to try and tip the scale favourably towards them, even though they have lesser weapons. So I'm curious to see how they approach this long kind of hit here. We already have 1 player very close by, that's coldzera, so you might just wait for a vote. And you can hear the sounds that actually now kind of encourages FNS to try and play into this, and coldzera is waiting for it. He's literally holding the flank, so in case anyone tries it, he's right there waiting. Now Cutler's there with him on long as well. Looks like coldzera wants to go for it, and that's Max 7 close range. Fallen trying his best as well. Flash coming in, Molotov to deny it, but still denies a little bit of map control here and forces FNS back, but he gets the 2nd one with the Max 7. Now surely switches up and can go back into battling Fallen, who's now pushing in. You don't expect this timing though. FNS, I don't think he's going to be fully aware. He's actually flashed himself a bit here. Fallen going to be running in there with the Tech 9. Overwhelms him, but the bomb's not close by. So even though SK, yeah, they're in a good spot now because they've been able to kind of weaken, I guess, that little bit of a spree that FNS was going on. Okay, the bomb's going right back around towards A. So we've got kind of Taco playing out the fake a little bit there, going to maybe make some noise. But he's going to fall back eventually. He could just play through drop and split the guys up. Yeah,
and they're just holding 2 CTs on this B bomb, so that's the most important thing, because then you can at least play 2v2 despite you're in a 3v4 situation when you hit on this A bomb side. And if Fallen can open this up, or if Fur can open this up from mid, oh, that is so unlucky from Fallen. Cutler with the perfect timing, jumps down. Fur coming in with 1 though.
This is a good spot for Cutler though, and it is even better when he had support on the way as well, but good hold from him, great positioning, the little kind of like off angle on the box. It's the barrel more often, but even if you know that Fallen's working up long, the fact that he's on the barrel is that most height that Fallen, I guess, would be pre-aiming, even with the AWP, would be a leg shot. So for him, he still gets the chance to take a fight, but even better, it worked out perfectly. But this is the start that actually got them a chance in this round. Their buy was less than ideal, and then FNS just completely tipped the scale. So very well done to him more than anything. But back into this one, we look at the money. It's decent again for CLG. They have a good buy. On the other side, a couple of pistols, not ideal.
See what else they can do with
Good
this.
luck.
Oh, that's perfect. Pixel perfect. And the Molotov as well.
He still hits 1. That's more impressive than anything. But Cutler blocked him in there and then he dies? No! That is not what you look at. This is not how you should be playing these rounds out. He tried to back away towards danger. Cutler was there. And you know what? If he stood there and fought of his own accord, I don't mind that. But kind of being shoehorned into it, you're not ready for it. He had to go for a no-scope and landed it still. But at the end of the day, that's given Taco an AWP. And now coldzera's in a good position as well to slowly work around, be a nuisance at drop. And they don't know really where Taco's gone. He's going to kind of try and keep him committed here. Smoke down as well, so really he can go anywhere he wants.
And once again, it's the slight miscommunication that just cost him that. Because if the communication just been, I'm going to take this fight, I'm Molotoving off, just hold the other ankle, he could have rotated down to the correct position. And they could have held that from each angle. Now coldzera, 1v3, bomb is dropped, surely not going to get this one.
No, Ricky kind of circumvented what coldzera achieved then.
Yeah.
Because coldzera had great ground towards me. He had drop control, he's had a fair bit of information trickling through to him. But Ricky going all the way around, kind of cutting off any rotate is good, but no prediction on coldzera being here, really? Alright, still utility there for CLG though, so gonna smoke that up. coldzera smokes, flashes himself, and here we go. Game on. Flashed up his 1, and he gets away. coldzera, this is God tier. Let's go. 1v2 for him. He's got an AWP, he's got a CZ, and he's got the whole map to play with it. He's going to choose A, and I don't know if they predict this. FNS is going to have to gamble it as well. They're going to have a little quick look towards B. Nothing there. Bomb's going to go down. Oh my word, coldzera. This is so good. He can win this.
Yeah, he can get into a good post plan as well.
Here we go. Flash comes in. Fully blind doesn't panic though. Going to play from stables. Position towards long. The bomb's planted for a good spot for him.
This is as coldzera around as it gets.
coldzera, show us what you're made of. A man of steel. 2 players now going in. Ethan's still got a smoke as well. That goes down. First tap on the bomb. And here it goes. Oh god, he can spot him. Ethan's gone. This is it, the 1v1. coldzera knows he has this in his hands. Cool, calm, collected, and it's all his. The bomb defuse comes in. And oh my god, he misses the shot. FNS. Oh my god. Oh! CLG, get it, coldzera. How much more can you do? He tried so hard. But just purely off by the smallest of margins.
Oh, that has to be gut-wrenching for coldzera. I was 100% sure he had that round perfectly played from start to finish, apart from that last AWP shot that did not connect, apparently.
That's
first one was beautiful.
God. But what a player.
Yeah.
I don't care that he loses it. He probably will. I don't. The fact is he's such a sick player. And SK Gaming now picking up the pace. They're going for the quick hit, and that actually is causing problems. Ethan and FNS to be put to the test here, but they go back in towards the E-Box room. But it allows Phelps now to break out as well. This is down to a 2v2. They've both got guns on SK. Against Kustu, who doesn't have armor. This is really problematic.
This is the second round in a row where CLG probably should have had that rolling, especially with Ethan's hold towards drop zone. I would imagine that they would have held this one, but nope. 2v2 once again. Big chance for SK to bring themselves on 15. coldzera alive, of course, once again, the man you want in a clutch. And Phelps, in my opinion, one of the best players today for SK.
Very tough place to play out of as well here. Both players towards drop for CLG. Phelps retaining the higher angle, not flashed. He gives it away on 1, but he gets the frag towards Kuster. It's now all done. Phelps there, going to close this one. And well, we're on 15-9. SK Gaming 1 round away from getting themselves into the finals. And it's been hard fought for. CLG weren't going to be pushovers. They fought back. 15-9, of course, a respectable scoreline. But this hit, all attention turned towards drop, and they strike.
And it's so good to see Phelps stepping up. Like, he's one of these players that, if needed, can bring himself onto a god level. If he's not needed, then he's going to play a really good match as well, but sometimes he just goes off, and today he's needed and he has stepped up. Absolutely my favorite player for this match so far.
I tend to agree. Now, timeout for SK here. Just going to let the opponents dwell on it.
I like this. This is really a good tactical choice. Making sure that everything is on point for what could potentially be the final round, and leaving CLG to think about their mistakes, because this has been 2 rounds in a row that, for example, the Cold Zero clutch that came so close, it's probably still thinking about that. This round as well, that just happened, lost out there. It's the individual actions of Phelps. Now, it's all on the line. SK, they're just happy. You can just see that they're still smiling. And we're about to go back into the game now.
And look at the purchase difference here. DZs, MP9s, UMPs, shoddy at best. SK Gaming fully fledged, large and in charge. And this could be the final round here. The finals wait around the corner for SK Gaming. For CLG, it's near on feeling impossible for them, but they need this round so desperately. So if you're ever going to put up a fight, it's right now. And you've got to give us everything you have, as SK know this is theirs.
Inches away from another grand final, as we usually see SK in that spot. Patience. Once again, the 4-1 split. This time Taco towards B, the rest centered toward that A bomb site. But there's only one player right now in that danger connector area. Towards Long. Fer now rotating along the rest of the team after making some noise towards A and getting ready for the B hit, which sadly for SK Gaming has 4 CLG players currently, but as you said earlier, their weaponry is not optimal.
No, and we're 50 seconds away from finding out if SK will be in the final this round, maybe start the next. Fer gonna get the step in the right direction. This is them fighting for this one. Kusa tries to do what he can, but it's too much overwhelmed, outgunned, outnumbered. And now 3 frags stand in the way of SK between them and the finals. Fer is doing it all as well. He wants this one. It's just on Cutler. SK Gaming surely gonna be into the finals here as Cutler finds 1, but there's so many threats still alive here. Phelps and Fallen. Bomb's not gonna go down. There's nothing to be done now. It's all SK Gaming. A valiant attempt from CLG, but truly something that I guess is said that form is temporary, but class is truly permanent. These guys never look truly shattered. That first map was a great display from CLG. A good display of what they can achieve as a team. But SK have proven they can play it out. They have the longevity. The moment's theirs.
Exactly. That best of 3 just showed SK as a team. They showed that even though they have a bad start, they can still get back into it and win these last 2 maps. And what a way that they won it in. Dominant first half in both of them and just keeping up the tempo every single round.
Yeah, and individually we had moments from pretty much everyone. Pick whoever you want. There was plenty of players to do it. Fallen had moments, but there was Fer, there was Taco, there was pretty much everyone had a good game throughout that series at some point for SK. At the start of it, wasn't the case. Mirage was very much a CLG dominant map. We had every factor working well for them. Ricky having a performance, Kusta, Ethan. Honestly, that was a great map for him. Now, if they could replicate that in the future, we've got a real contender. Yeah. For now, though, I think the victory went to the team that certainly fought for it in the right way and just never looked completely flustered. That train game brought them right back on track.
Not at all. And as we discussed, they needed to mentally reset after the loss on the first map. They did so very well. Came into train, took that, and then went into Cobblestone as well with that confidence going into the 3rd map and then just dominated it. And that's the SK that we wanted to see. That's the SK we all expected to see here. And now they're in the grand finals.
Well, truly deserved. We're going to head down to the stage to hear from Parler, and I can imagine maybe Fallen's joining him this time. We're going to find out. Let's check it out.
Indeed, Fallen is joining me on stage now. You've won our first semi-final, and that makes you our first finalist here, SK Gaming. Gabriel, pressure off now a bit, or are you straight away focusing on that final?
Hello, everyone. Straight away, focused for the finals. It's going to be a great match, no matter who we're going to be playing. I think Immortals and Fnatic is going to be a great game as well. So we're looking forward to see who's going to win. And it's awesome to be here on this stage. The first tournament we played with FNX and Taco was here. We went to the finals after starting the tournament with a 16-0. So this place, Yonkoping, brings a lot of feelings for us. And it's great to be here and deliver some of the finals again.
before we go into the details of that match that you just took part in, let's talk about that potential final. You know, it's going to be either Fnatic or Immortals. Firstly, who would you prefer to play?
I think playing Immortals would be great because I'll always be cheering for them, so I hope they win, they beat Fnatic, but playing Fnatic would be awesome as well because they beat us here in Yokoping last time we played here, so both matches are going to be awesome, so I don't care, but I'm going to be cheering for Immortals, of course.
Okay, but then in that match, who do you think has the edge?
It's very difficult to say. I think Immortals is doing a great job, but Fnatic is Fnatic. You can never count them out, and they have the public here. Everyone is going to be cheering and hyping them up, so you never know.
You guys ready for that next semi-final? We've got Fnatic coming out in a second. Any Fnatic fans in the crowd? I'm sure there are some SK guys there as well. They were cheering for you. Anyway, let's get on to the match that we just saw. So it started with Mirage, and I think some of us backstage were quite surprised with how that went. We thought maybe you could have taken it. Why didn't it go in your favor?
I think they had a great match on Mirage. They pretty much did great setups. Like, they were changing every time what they want to do, and that made me lose. And it made me choose wrong options. Like, I was trying to do something, but what happened is that they just changed it. So I was kind of missing and doing wrong calls. But it's proper to them. I think they played a good Mirage.
Clearly then, moving on to map 2, Train, you guys are still very, very strong on that map. Were you comfortable with the way that went? You had an amazing CT half?
I mean, if you're gonna pick Train against SK, you gotta know what you're doing, right?
you have to, definitely. And then you moved into Cobble, final, third map, and it seemed like you guys, by that point, had got a rhythm, you had that momentum in your favor, and it looked like relatively comfortable from there on.
Yeah, Cobble was a very good first half. Starting from the pistol round where I had a smoke that made all the difference on the window. They tried to do the same pistol as we did at Service. But what was good for us on Cobblestone, that on CT, every time we lost a round, we were able to break their economy right after. So that was very important for us to get a big lead. And as Terrorists, we didn't do that great, but it was enough to win. That's what matters. We're on other finals and we're very happy for it.
All right, and I will be speaking to you next before that final. For now, you can shoot off. Would you like to say anything to anybody watching, anyone at home?
Yeah, thanks everyone who was cheering here on the public. Thanks guys, you guys are awesome. Also, thanks for everyone at home, Brazilian people and everyone who was cheering for SK. Really hoping to deliver you guys a very good finals, no matter who we're going to be playing. So thanks you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it.
I have no doubt that that final will be absolutely electric, but we still have one semi-final to go, and that is going to be Fnatic versus Immortals. However, for now, we will head back to the studio for the Corsair Analyst Desk.
Oh, isn't he dreamy? Isn't he an angel? Gabriel there talking to us, and we get to hear more from him in that pre-match ahead of that grand final. SK locked in for the grand final, Vendetta and Pimp joining me alongside Machine, myself. Let's reflect then, gentlemen, because it did go to 3. We asked for it, we requested it, and admittedly, yes, SK do convert it, but I have to start this discussion by, well, a question about Mirage. It is just going to be a big question mark. CLG, how do they come about and do it again? I remember that game versus Fnatic. It was on Mirage as well, where they just had done their homework. Everything looked so smooth, and they made SK look shaky.
Yeah, no, they definitely did, and the way they went about it was obviously disrupting SK's defaults a lot of the time. It was constant mid-aggression from a CT side, which oftentimes you might see it once or twice during a game, depending on what kind of team you're playing. Yeah, exactly. It's the one thing you do to throw off your opponent to make them slow down their pace of the game, that kind of thing. But CLG were willing to commit pretty much, like 70% of their utility they had for a round within the first 20 seconds, just to make sure that SK had to slow down. They couldn't get anyone behind the boxes at top mid, and basically have to play, in the dark for the better part of it. And that was really cool to see, the fact that they didn't show any sort of fear. They knew what the game plan initially was from SK's side, and as Fallen kind of mentioned, they weren't properly able to adapt as the game went along, because CLG didn't just have like this one trick, that one setup that they did to take over mid. You'd see Riki get boosted up on Catwalk at times. Just they had different approaches of how they wanted to disrupt SK, and that worked perfectly.
Now, I mean, just to kind of elaborate upon that point, SK's default, is it really super reliant on that mid hold?
It sort of is, like, that's sort of the Mirage meta right now, you want mid control, then you want to play out from that, and it was fun to see. It was not only like the mid thing CLG did, it was like Nate pushing down A slope a few times. I think we saw 3 or 4 rounds in a row almost, where he pushed down late in the beginning of the round, and he got a kill each time, So it was like CLG constantly putting pressure all over the map, which made SK second guessing. So if they actually went for a fast mid take, which they did a few times, then Nate would push down A slope, get the kill there, and they would still have the advantage, So CLG pretty much just played it perfectly perfectly. A little bit of luck as well. Like they took some gambles and it paid off each time, you know. So it did just make SK look really bad, maybe even worse than they actually were. And that's how it is sometimes with Mirage. Because I feel like the T side is very one-dimensional. Mid is so important, and you have to have some sort of control of mid throughout the game. Otherwise, you're going to look stupid.
Yeah, indeed. And SK kind of turned it on the other foot this time on Train. He said, if you pick a Train against SK, you better know how to play. And at times, it perhaps didn't look like it. Solid work from the Brazilians. They just bounced straight back.
Yeah, no, they really did. And they did it in the same fashion that, you know, again, they can be punished for. And this is kind of where I expected to see more out of CLG in terms of what they were able to do with it, because we constantly saw, you know, just right off the bat in the first buy round, you see Fur pushing aggressively, you know, close into team main. You see Phelps playing inside of Pop Dog. And we also had, you know, on occasion, either Cold Zero or Fur pushing out Ivy.
Yeah.
Just being constant nuisances. Pretty much it was SK doing the same to CLG as CLG did to SK on Mirage. But you definitely would have... Yeah, no,
blowing up on the server.
Yeah, no, he was definitely a vital part. To be fair, though, I think it was accurate what, you know, both Nils and Lauren mentioned at the end of the broadcast, that everyone on SK had their moments throughout that best of 3 to really showcase their skills.
And the scoreboard does speak volumes, especially good for Phelps. Now ahead of a grand final, he's putting in the biggest number on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I think that's very important for him as well, because we talked about it backstage.
He started off terribly.
Exactly, in the beginning he started off terribly, and he didn't look like a confident guy. He didn't look like the Phelps we know from Immortals, you know, who was just whipping everyone.
Yeah.
But it seemed like he's slowly but surely maybe finding himself in this team, and like having a match like this, arguably it is against the CLG teams who are not considered one of the very best teams in the world, but it gives you confidence, you know. So if he can bring that into the final and have a good tournament overall here, then I'm sure Phelps will be happy for that. And SK as well, you know, looking into the ESL Cologne tournament and the major as well.
I did see a great tweet as well coming out from Peta from HLTV, just saying that CLG ruin runs. Yeah. Gambit on Cobble, and this time SK on Mirage as well. They did it again.
Gambit on Overpass as well.
Gambit on Overpass, sorry, yeah, there was 3 of them. Yeah. Spectacular work. CLG, I mean, it's just evidence that if you do your homework, which they have not, you know, they have not hidden the fact that they have done their homework. The coach especially, Imapet, says he watches demos for a living, and I guess when you are on a spree, when you're very successful on a map relentlessly, there is an abundance of evidence for you to go ahead and break that down. And it works. Yeah. You know, homework is rewarded, it seems, Halvor.
No, it definitely is, and that's why you oftentimes talk about how teams, you know, there's no real excuse for not necessarily being prepared in those kind of instances, especially when you're going up against a team like SK. And it also always baffles me when you hear, you know, pre-tournament interviews with teams who are, again, you know, using the classic version. No, we're just going to focus on our own game.
Right.
So we haven't really looked into our opponents. At that point, I was thinking, like, well, you're kind of just doing yourself a, you know, disfavor by not actually doing the proper groundwork, because obviously looking into your opponents doesn't mean that you have to anti-strat at any given time. Right. It's just like having an idea, getting a good idea of what their tendencies are, what kind of tells they have to their certain strategies, and that can obviously just be that minor difference that takes you to the top.
From your perspective, Jacob, is that something that's still at the top of CSGO? The very best do sometimes fall into that trap of focusing on their own game?
Maybe, yeah. I wouldn't say it's a trap necessarily, but it's more like a balance you have to find. Because if you're an underdog, you have to go the extra step. You know, you have to do something out of the ordinary in order to stand out. You know, and that's what CLG is doing by all this preparation with having Armapet on the coach, and it works for them obviously. Whereas a team like SK, I'm pretty sure if they had the same approach to this game as CLG had, you know, they would probably look worse or potentially even lose it. Because if you worry too much about going in against a team that you know you're better than, you know player for player, we are the best, you know. So there's always a balance to it. Obviously, SK are looking at other teams. They're looking at tendencies. They're looking at something. Yeah. Okay, this boost is one they use a lot. You know, we gotta be worried about that or expect that. You know, but not down to the narrow as underdog teams sometimes do. You know, where they study a team down to the bone. You know, so they know pretty much everything about them, which is sometimes why we see upsets on best of ones.
Yeah, and the challenge continues to take a best of 3 away from SK. They'll drop a map. They have done both in best of 1s coming through the lower bracket of this very tournament here for DreamHack Astro Open, and now they stand in the grand finals. He said it's a very special tournament for them. This is where they found their first success after some of the most initial roster changes, and now the Brazilians wait to see if it will be a truly South American final. Immortals will be taking on Fnatic after our break. It is going to be very interesting to see Swedes looking to get into the Swedish crowd's grand final. It's going to be perfect. Another best of three maps coming at you guys after our break. And one more thing to remind you of before we do take that hiatus, and that is of one of our sponsors, Strafe. Everything esports in the palm of your hand. It not only keeps you up to date with some of the news, but also the statistics, and you can follow your favorites. Keep your eyes on what Olofmeister is up to. How is he doing in Jönköping? Find out with Strafe. Now, let's take a break. When we come back, the DreamHack ASTRO Open continues. Semi-final number 2, and we'll see the Swedes do action on home soil.